22 parents, and the reason we're 22 parents is because we became parents in the year 2022. And so we decided to start this YouTube channel to kind of just talk about our, new journey into parenthood, which we actually just did a series on. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks guys for joining us once again, all our loyal supporters. And we're going to get into a few topics today, dealing with maternity leave and kind of things that go along with it, and paternity leave, because I was there too. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today, so I hope you enjoy the video. Where did we start? Where did we stop? What was our last topic that we talked about in our last video?
So we left off, I think, about literally coming home with Eliza.
Okay.
Or, I mean, we can talk about that again, too, a little bit, but we
refresher.
essentially just talked about the birth and what that was like being in the hospital and stuff.
Right.
So maybe we didn't touch on driving home. You can touch on driving home.
Driving home?
Driving home with a baby.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, last time we left off, I think we were talking about literally just leaving the hospital, and that's when we kind of left you guys hanging. So yeah, I mean, obviously we drove home, and that means she's in the car seat and Sarah's fresh off the hospital bed, basically. And it was such a cool experience, taking my family home. It's the first time, just as a dad, I'm sitting in the front, and we've got this little being in the back seat, and it's funny because I feel like you think about like the car seat and how difficult it is to put it in the car, but you're not really worried about all that when you finally get the baby. You just strap her in and you head off. But I was driving a lot more carefully than I normally do. I mean, I wasn't going like super slow, you know what I mean? But I was just like, okay, because like the hospital is like, you get out of the hospital, you're right onto the highway, you know what I mean? And sometimes the highway is just a wild. So, but yeah, no, we got home. I don't remember if we just pulled her out of the car and walked in the door, right? And that was bringing the family home.
Yeah, I would say it's funny you say you weren't worried about the car seat, because the nurse was very intentional about giving me directions on how to install the car seat and making sure she was safe.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and so she's born in November, so it's cold out, and so they talked about, cold weather car seat safety and coats and stuff like that. That's important too. And I very, very clearly remember that moment. And our infant car seat, it very easily comes out of the car because it has a base that can stay in the car.
It does.
So I believe we strapped her in the hospital room first, correct?
I want to say yeah.
Yeah, and then I had her on my lap or something like that. And they wheeled me out.
Just carrying the car seat.
They wheeled me out the door.
Michael Scott.
And he, and you had a little cart for all of our stuff.
Oh, dude, they had the coolest little, these little buggies, like these little like wagons, and you put all your stuff in there and you just wheel it, and it was not like, it was really, really convenient because there's so many things in the hospital room, and you don't want to take multiple trips back and forth because it's a long walk back to your car.
Yes.
I was like, this is clutch. Every hospital should have a little red wagon in it. So
you were very excided about those wagons.
Because it was awesome. And also, we've been in the hospital for 3 days, so like anything I would have been excited about.
Right. That's true.
Because at that point, we were just like, we were ready to leave. We were ready to get out of there, take our baby home. And we did. So yeah, no, car seat safety was super important. I'm glad the nurse went over that, because I think there probably are. I think we were pretty well aware, but it's a good refresher after the last 3 days of not sleeping and having a baby. And there probably are a lot of parents too that are just like overwhelmed and like, I didn't even know this about the car seat. And so, you do want to make sure your kid is safe, and cars are dangerous. Like, I know they're a common thing that we do every day, but you're in a car wreck a lot more than you're in a plane wreck or any other kind of like accident. So keeping the baby safe is like 100%, top priority. So yeah,
I sat in the back seat with her so that she wasn't alone. Of course, I didn't want her to be by herself in the back seat.
Yeah,
she's so fresh.
Time. Yeah.
And so I think you said that it felt like you were taxiing us home or Ubering us
home. Oh yeah, just a standard Uber. I'll come back, see you guys later. Good luck. No, I did say that, and I mean, it did feel like it a little bit, but I think obviously I was aware that I'm taking my. It was just, we felt like a family. It was cool.
Yeah. No, we did for sure.
Because that was the first time that we'd done something as a family like outside of the hospital. You know what I mean? Like there were moments where obviously we were feeding her, changing her diaper, and there was no nurses around. But now we were actually out in the real world, with our kid, no
On
take
our
backs. So it's like here you are, and it's like it's a cool feeling because you're like now we're in charge. You know what I mean? Which is terrifying in the moment, but it's also I don't know what the word is here, but it's like I don't know if it's empowering, but it's like you feel like a family unit, and you guys are together.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
I don't think I felt that nearly as much because I was still dealing with like the hormone surges and depletions.
Yeah, right.
But definitely over time I started to really feel like a family unit, especially because, technically when you get married, you're considered a new family, but it doesn't feel like it when it's just the two of you as adults. It feels like a loving roommate situation in some respects. Like obviously more than roommates, but it doesn't feel like a new family.
Sometimes, yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
And not just when it's the two of us. So now that we have a child, it feels like, oh, this is family life. This is what you do.
Right.
I know that she's older. She's playing a lot more.
Right.
So it's been really fun to really dive into familyhood.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. But yeah, I mean, that was essentially the essence of leaving the hospital. So, and now we're home, and I don't know what's next. I mean, I don't even remember that day. We got home in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like the sun was setting because it was November. Time had already changed.
Yep.
And I think I want to say at that time she was napping like every few hours.
Yeah, so I feel as though the newborns that I've met since she's been born sleep more than she did somehow, because she would have spurts of being awake for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like every time she napped she would be awake for 2 hours, but she would have at least 1 or 2 of those throughout the day.
Yeah.
I think she collected all of her energy and expended it at one period of time during the day.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time she was sleeping.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to enjoy those blocks of time of her just being awake.
And energetic, yeah.
And as energetic
as a newborn can be. Yeah. But I mean, and that just means lifting her head.
Yeah.
Smiling at you.
Yeah.
Well, although that took a while for the smiles.
The smiles came in December.
Yeah, so that was about a month later, but just the interactions, because obviously it's a precious thing, but you want to be able to interact with your child, and in the first few weeks it's not really it's more just you cooing over them, and or I guess they're cooing at you, but
I mean, we coo back
too. Yeah. So and then they slowly start to get a bit more active, and develop those motor skills, but it's it was a good first day, I think, and I don't remember it being problematic or anything.
I think we went to the doctor's appointment a few days later, and Eliza ended up dealing with some jaundice issues, and that was a whole journey in of itself.
Jaundice saga. Honestly.
It honestly was a saga.
It was.
So I don't know what her levels were. I don't remember even if I was told what her levels were at the beginning. But she was clearly yellow, and which is not uncommon for newborns to be born that way. I think the process of response was not what was standard. I think we ended up taking a waited out approach, which got everyone a lot more concerned about her well-being instead of actually responding to her jaundice from the beginning. And so what was the first doctor's appointment for just the normal wellness check, what became a subsequent number of not wellness checks, but doctor's appointments, in which she had frequently gotten her blood tested.
Oh yeah, a lot.
With foot pricks, which was really annoying because of course she did not like that.
Not at all.
And we're new parents, so we're dealing with of course I'm dealing with the hormone surges and depletions, and he is feeling the effects of that, and we're both sleep deprived because she's waking up at least every 3 hours.
Yep.
And so it was just watching your firstborn baby cry for no good reason besides the fact that it's been pricked is not a fun experience.
Not at all, no. And later on down the road, I don't remember when that stopped eventually. It feels recent to me for some reason, like very recent. But she, there would actually be moments where she wouldn't cry at all. And I'm like, yeah, my kid's tough. But man, it felt so unnecessary. Like, it's just like, and then sometimes they would have trouble. And this is no downplay to the nurses, because obviously it's a hard thing to do, and I get it. But, you know, they'd have to try both arms or both legs, or get like a, you know, smaller needle or whatever it might be. And I'm just like, oh, stop pricking my kid, please. But no, I agree. I wish it had just been handled from the beginning, because I believe there's like a light or a lamp that they could have used.
There's a lamp that I believe they could have used. There's a blanket that I believe they could have used.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a little disappointed that currently I don't remember the numbers. I also believe that I didn't get any numbers from the get-go. And I really wish I had.
I can't remember. There might have been, I don't know if they handed us any files, but there might have been a mention from the nurses as to how high or how low she was.
That was a while ago.
It was way back, yeah, and we were obviously both out of it in that time, but yeah. So, but I mean, we basically had to go to multiple, and I mean, granted, there are multiple doctor's appointments for newborns, regardless of the of their condition, because you just have to continue to check on them because they're a brand new, you know, human being. But I did not like those jaundice appointments. They're frustrating. We were constantly worried about her weight and, you know, head circumference and all these different things. And I'm just like, I'm so glad it's over.
I would say, I think that a reason she wasn't gaining weight as quickly as they wanted her to is because she was trying so hard to rid herself of the
bilirubin.
Bilirubin, thank you. And so she was small at first for a while, and it's just because it took so long for us to get rid of, or for her system to get rid of.
Yeah.
So something we did for that was formula.
Yep.
So I was able to nurse very successfully. No issues at all. But in order to help with the bilirubin excretion, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't know. That seems like the wrong word.
That's fine.
But getting it out of her system, we were suggested to feed her formula instead of breast milk for a period of time.
Yep. And
then for a period of time, we were asked to supplement. And our Eliza has always been a great sleeper. From the get-go, like what you'd expect of a newborn, that is, like, she would do amazing. And so it was really frustrating to us that our doctor was like, no, you must wake her up every 3 hours in order to feed her.
Oh yeah, no, because she could have slept. Sorry to interrupt. She could have slept through the night on multiple occasions, but we had to wake her up to give her that formula. So no, sorry, continue.
I mean, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And it's annoying because you're just like, you know, you want to take advantage. Listen, newborns do not sleep that much. So there's like, I mean, I feel like it's like,
not through the night.
Not through the night.
They do sleep a lot.
Oh, sorry. Let me clarify. They sleep a ton. They sleep like 17, 18 hours a day.
Yes.
But through the night, you as a parent should thank God if your child sleeps through the night earlier than like 6 months. You know, we know people, you know, whose kids are not doing that, and some who are, some who were lucky to have it, you know, way early in the beginning, and some who weren't. So that's why we were very frustrated with the whole let's wake her up and feed her formula. It's also annoying because you gotta get up, you gotta fill the water bottle up, make sure it's like at a certain temperature, put the thing in there, mix it up, and this is all at like 3 a.m. I don't want to be doing this. I want to be sleeping. I gotta work the next day. You know what I mean? So it's like it's annoying. Luckily, though, I will say, I feel like, isn't there some kind of confusion sometimes when we switch between milk and formula? She did fine on either of them.
She did, actually.
Now that I'm thinking about it, so that's another nice little Eliza.
But we also had the fortune of being able to nurse for her so well that it was really frustrating. We had to keep giving her the formula because we already had milk available to us.
True.
And so we didn't want to keep purchasing something that we didn't feel was as necessary.
Yeah.
And especially as we went through this process, we realized that it could have been handled in several different ways.
For sure.
That we believe could have been better for her. At the end of the day, she is fine. She is healthy. She has gained plenty of weight. She is a little chunker now. And so it's fine. Like it's everything happens the way it was supposed to, and that's fine.
That's great.
It's just, hindsight's 20/20. So
yeah, things we could have changed. And we'll go in with a little more experience next time, obviously. So maybe we'll make some changes. But no, I think we're both grateful that she made it through that it wasn't a long-term issue, and she didn't have any serious health complications. So we praise God for that. And it was just an inconvenience that we're going to talk about for a long time.
I really liked our bassinet. We were talking about this the other day, but that really helped our sleeping situation a lot. Yeah. Because we decided not to bed share, personally, because I feel as though I would not sleep safely with her in the bed. I didn't feel as though we would be able to make the necessary adjustments that would allow her to safely sleep with us. Right. So we got a bassinet that allowed us to have her open and next to us, right next to the bed, and I could put my arm on her and comfort her. It was very easy. She slept right next to me, so it was very easy for me to pick her up and put her in my lap and comfort her and nurse her. And so that was really nice. Yeah. I think the only thing that may have been frustrating is that because she was on my side, anytime you would get up, you'd have to get up and then walk around the bed and then change her diaper and then walk back around the bed. It's fine. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, it's literally like 10 feet of walking. It's better than down the hall. It's better than down the hall, across the hall, down the stairs, possibly. But anyways, we should probably take a little break here. Okay. All right.